And we got Marcel Schirmer, Rupert Marken and Rasmus Marken split by just 2 points on drop scores. There's the grid then, and it's Frank Ganshaw on pole position with Kevin Ludi starting second and looking for his third podium of the year. Rupert Marken starts third, Marcel Schirmer fourth. So then you've got Barry Pollinger and Rasmus Marken on row 3. So the 3 drivers going for third in the championship are all together, huddled together. Rupert Marken, Marcel Schirmer and Rasmus Marken. Then on the 4th row of the grid, Aaron Sherlock and Harold Skarkaklis. Row 5, Nicola Pico and Konstantin Scholl. Then row 6, Joey Alders, who we heard from yesterday, and Christoph Adams, the best of the Masters drivers here in his home race. Row 7, Luca Kamali and Kawazi Tomokazu, who's gone brilliantly in the dry, but awfully in the wet. But it's dry, thankfully, for him. So he is the second best Master and trying to catch Christoph Adams, who's directly in front of him on the grid. Row 8, another quick Masters driver, Tamsin Germain, starting 15th. Fabienne Lanz is alongside. She starts in 16th. Row number 9, we've got Mark Lupfer and Philip Seewer. Row 10, Tom Pitlick, who finished second in the final heat yesterday when he made the right call on tyres. Then we had Igor Mukin, the Masters points leader, who's been back and forth between Belgium and Russia this weekend, racing karts and racing GT cars. Row 11, Ahmed Ali Hussein and Annalisa Dreyspring. Row 12, Marius Rauer and Sanad Echwawi. Row 13, Tony Hogg, Geza Fodor. Row 14, Lorenzo Van Riet and Paolo De Conto. Then row 15, Dimitris Vassileris, maybe, because he didn't start the pre-final. And Stefan Abt had a big crash earlier on in the pre-final. We think he's okay. I'm not sure he's going to start the race. Row 16 will be empty. Oliver Myers is shown on the screen, but he withdrew from the meeting with brake issues yesterday morning. So that is how they will line up for the DD2 final. Just bringing them under speed now is our pole sitter, Frank Ganshaw, who leads the championship. He hasn't actually won a round of it yet. He's finished second twice. Last time out in Germany, he finished on the fringe of the top 10, but he's had super consistency. He's had some great results in the pre-finals, and he is the driver that looks favourite for the championship title. Now his first Euro Challenge title. So he generates a bit of heat in the tyres. He won the pre-final at a canter, it has to be said. So if he can get away, he'll be hard to stay with, that's for sure. So out of turn 10, ready for this 16-lap race come DD2. But some odd starts in DD2. The inside row tends to get well clear of the outside row, but then Constantina's back up midway through turn 1. Here we go then, the race about to get underway. Pole position with the red and white colour scheme there is Frank Ganshaw. Somebody making an awesome start there, I think, is Rasmus Marken. And from the 3rd row of the grid, he's going to get the lead of the race. From the 3rd row of the grid, Rasmus Marken goes through into first position. Second place then, who made a decent start anyway, was our pole position man, Frank Ganshaw. We got a couple off in the midfield on the exit to turn 2, and I'm afraid one of them is Kevin Ludi. Another couple, 3 drivers come off on the exit to turn 2 on the run to turn number 3 from a bit further down the order. We'll sort them out when they come back around. But what a start that was from Marken, absolutely hooked that up. So he gets the lead of the race. Second place for Frank Ganshaw. The other Marken in 3rd position then. I think Marcel Schirmer's in the mix, isn't he? Also in the top 5, and Barry Pollinger looks like he is in 6th place. Adam Sherlock in 7th position. So the race leader, Rasmus Marken, looking for his first Euro Challenge win here. His second season in the championship in DD2 is the one, Matt, that leads them through at the end of lap 1.
He does indeed, but what can Frank Ganshaw do down in towards turn number 1? He's a very quick man this weekend. He's looking to wrap up this championship, and now he's trying to take this win as well. But as you said, a great drive through the field from Rasmus Marken. He found the gap down the middle of both rows, and he jumps out as our race leader, but not for long, because Frank Ganshaw goes through at turn number 4. Again, he just goes for the inside line, no hesitation. Again, the hand comes up to say, come on, we need to work together, but they're not going to really listen to that old trick, because every driver seems to do it once they take a place there. But Rasmus wants to go for the win. He goes very well in the wet conditions. He's about to be passed though by his brother by the looks of it, Rupert Marken, who now jumps up a place as well. So the brothers are trading paintwork at the minute, and here comes Marcel Schirmer for a lunge down the inside at turn number 8. He gets the job done as well, so up into 3rd place he goes. Just like that, again from the lead to 4th place in the space of a lap has gone Rasmus Marken, and here comes Barry Pollinger as well, up into 5th place now. What can he do about the 4 ahead as they run side by side behind?
And just behind, Nicola Pico is about to go ahead of Aaron Sherlock. Sherlock, though, gets him back on midway through the apex of turn number 1. So Pico went past, said, follow me. Sherlock said, No, you follow me, and went back ahead of him. So that was the battle for 6th place. The top 2 are together. 3rd, 4th, 5th are together. Barry Pullinger, nice move on the way into turn number 4 in the blue race suit there. Gaining a place, and look at the top 2 here. They're going to swap around again because Kanchar had got his nose in front, but it didn't last for very long at all because Markkanen snatched the place back at the end of the back straight. So it's Markkanen back up front, the Finn ahead of the Hungarian. The Hungarian, though, is still very much on for the championship. Has Paolo De Conto made much progress? Yes, of course he has. 14th at the end of the previous lap from 28th on the grid. He's got to go for it. He's nothing to lose. He's going to finish second in the championship come what may. If he can get in the top 2, and if something happens to Kanchar, then he could still do it. So Kanchar pushing on at the front of the field. I'm pretty sure that there's been more places gained for De Conto. There has. He's up to 10th place now. The Italian is on a charge, Matt.
He's on his way, so everyone now needs to be wary of Paolo De Conto, who works his way on through turn number 3. And of course, we've had both Markkanen brothers now that have led, because Rasmus was earlier on. He's now down the field a little bit more and under attack from Barry Pullinger, who goes down the inside at turn number 5. Again, some great moves being shown from Barry today. He now gets himself onto the podium as well. But it's Rupi Markkanen who is out front. French Kanchar behind him at the minute. The man who's, as we said, trying for the championship. The top 2 have just got that little bit of a gap now. They're working together to try and make it bigger and better, but the next 2 in line are going to try and work together as well to close it down. So wait to see over the next 2 laps which way it may turn. Marcel Schirmer has now dropped down to 5th place, and again a little bit distant of those ahead as Rasmus Markkanen will try to fight back down the inside at turn 1. He goes. He gets himself now back onto the podium. So Barry Pullinger was caught napping there briefly. He drops now down to 4th place, and this is not going to help their cause to catch the top 2, is it?
No, so Ruben Markkanen continues to lead the race. Frank Kanchar about a length behind him now. Rasmus Markkanen 3rd, Barry Pullinger 4th, but about to pick up the toe on the run into turn 5. He thought about it, he closed up under braking. They jinked through the chicane then and turned right into turn number 6. Quick squirt on the accelerator, brake, turn left into the hairpin at 7. And if you get a good run out of here, you can have a look at the inside into turn 8, but Barry's not quite close enough here. 619 Marcel Schirmer right on his tail as well. Nicola Pico in 6th, Aaron Sherlock 7th, Konstantin Scholl 8th, Joey Alders 9th, Paolo De Conto was still 10th when they came through last time. But of course he's not 10th anymore. He's now ahead of Joey Alders, so he gains a place as Marcel Schirmer pulls out of the slipstream to try and get ahead of Rasmus Markkanen. That's for 4th place. He half got away and then backed off and then had another go, had another nibble on the way out of the corner. But still Markkanen will not let him through, and that little incident there, no contact but some hard racing, has just allowed Barry Pullinger to totally escape away from them. It has also brought Nicola Pico onto their tail in 6th place.
Yep, he's gone, has Barry Pullinger, so he now sits a very comfortable 3rd place, and he may be able to work on his own now to catch the top 2. So watch out for that one for Barry Pullinger. In terms of the Masters for now, just to update you, Christoph Adams still leads the way, 12th position overall. 2nd is Kavazi Tomokazu, and Tamsin Germain remains in 3rd place. I think Iger Mukin has decided possibly not to do this one because he has in fact, 17th place down there in 4th position in class. So that's how the Masters looks for now, but still over half the race to go. We're on to lap number 7, a 16-lap race, of course, and it's getting very frantic for 5th place now. There has been a change here because through has gone Nicolas Pico, making his way past ahead of Marcel Schirmer. So a lap or so ago, Marcel was challenging him, but now he's the man who's being attacked from every single angle. So Nicolas Pico moves ahead through turn 4, and they go down the back straight. Marcel Schirmer, the quicker of the two, down that straight now because Nicolas was a little bit slow off the corner there, but no change for those 2 positions as of now. Barry Pullinger still up the road in 3rd, and we'll keep an eye on his lap times as well because he may be getting a little bit quicker. 54.6, which is exactly the same in fact as the top 2 that last time round.
Paolo De Conto up to 8th place. His championship rival 2nd at the moment. Frank Kanchar on for the title. The race leader is Rupa Markkanen, 7th in the championship before the start of the weekend. But drop scores help him out. And if he gets a victory here, even if he finishes in 2nd place, it's going to be enough to give him a total of 287 points. That would be 3rd place in the championship. And at the moment, Rasmus Markkanen is just a point behind Marcel Schirmer for 4th in the championship. But Marcel's going to be disappointed with this, having been 3rd for most of the season in the points race. There's a great battle going on in Masters just outside the top 10. Christoph Adams is 11th. Kawasi Tomokazu is in 12th place. Tamsin Germain is 14th. Iger Mukin 19th. So Mukin, if it stands like this to the end of the race, will win the Masters Championship title. proving that all those air miles were well worth paying for. And then it will be Tomokazu second in the championship, Jermaine third, if it stays like this. But we're only halfway through the race. Markinen then, Rupert into turn 10. Frank Canchar is shadowing him, but not going to do anything risky here, is he, that might incur the wrath of the officials. So he's following in second place. It might be that he wins the championship without winning a race here, but he's been super in the heats. He's won plenty of those and a pre-final victor as well. Third is Barry Pullinger, looking fairly comfortable. Matt from Rasmus Markinen in fourth.
Yeah, but those two out in front have got to be careful now, because the train is starting to build behind. There's 3 or 4 carts there at the minute. The next two to join onto the back of that is going to be Aaron Sherlock and Paolo De Conto from the back of this grid. So up to 8th place already. Paolo is getting closer and closer. So let's see what now he can do about those ahead. He's got some tremendous speed this weekend, albeit with the dramas in the pre-final with that puncher, which dropped him out of the race. But he'll try everything. He'll throw everything he can towards the front of this field. And someone who's doing exactly the same now is going to be Fred Kanshkar, the man who sits in second place. Closest he's been, I think, so far within this one, because Rupi Markinen is now just on the slightest of edges here as Fred goes down towards turn number 1. The gap has closed to just less than 0.2 of a second, so it's now starting to build quicker and quicker.
A warning and a 5-second penalty for Christoph Adams, who was the leading Masters driver. That puts him down the order to 18th position once the 5 seconds is added in. So it means that Kawazi Tomokazu, despite a pretty disastrous Saturday, a really disastrous start to Sunday, it looks like he might be on for a victory here in the Masters class. He'd be delighted that the rain stopped, because that was giving him a lot of headaches earlier on in the weekend. So Tomokazu first, then Jermaine would be second. Christoph Adams just ahead of Igor Mukin with his penalty applied for third and fourth places. So that's the way it stands. Our race leaders, our top two, have just gone through shot, and now here they come into the right-hander at turn 10. There's Barry Pullinger, about 2 seconds behind them in third place, looking for what will be his first podium of the season. The driver has finished in the top 6 previously in the championship, and it looks like he might be able to match that feat here in what's, as we said earlier on in the weekend, is kind of his home track. Although he's British, this is the place he races at a lot in the BNL Championship, the Belgian-Dutch Championship. So Barry on for third place. Looked like he might be on for a podium at the start of the weekend when he went so well in the free practice sessions, and despite having some unlucky decisions with his tyre choice in the wet yesterday, he got 10th on the grid for the pre-final. He steadily made his way forward, and there he is in third place. The battle to watch really is looking like, Matt, it's going to be for fourth, because 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th are now starting to tighten up, and catching them all in 8th place is Paolo De Conto.
Yep, slowly but surely again, Paolo De Conto is getting there. Aaron Sherlock's done a grand job as well to catch those 3 ahead. So watch out for Aaron over the next few laps. We're now over half race distance as the leaders turn their way in towards the first corner. There's a move down the inside from 680 trying to get through there, which is Nicholas Pico. Runs wide to the man ahead, which is that of Rasmus Markinen. So this is the fight now for what's going to be 4th position, and that will help everybody else behind as well. So 5 carts all together. Again, Nicholas Pico goes for the move down the inside line, pushes out Rasmus Markinen, who then tries to get back to the inside in towards the hairpin at turn 5. He may be pushed out wide here. He's got to be careful. He is. Aaron Sherlock gets held off. Paolo De Conto comes through down the inside line. He's not quite going to get there, but definitely now it's much, much closer. So, there's contact between 2 in the pack there as well. One of them is the Markinens, I think, Rasmus, and the one that made contact possibly could have been...
Schirmer.
Yeah.
Marcel Schirmer.
What a shame.
2 of the drivers in the top 5 in the championship, tumbling down the order. Tamsin Germain, he's not very far behind Kawazi Tomokazu, I noticed, as they came past me last time through. About 2 lengths behind. They're equal on points for second in the championship in the Masters. Whichever of them finishes ahead of the other, assuming they both get decent finishes, will get second in the championship. So Tamsin is coming back after the Japanese driver now. Well worth the look, this little battle between 6.27 in 12th and 6.41 Germain in 13th place. They are getting to the point where they're almost nose to tail now. Tamsin is gritting her teeth and trying to come back at him. She's previously been a runner-up in the championship, as well as previously being a race winner in Masters. So second 3 years ago to Christoph Adams in the championship. Can she get a second place finish in the Masters once again here? We'll find out shortly, because she's certainly giving it everything here to try and catch up onto the tail of Kawazi Tomokazu. And you can see in shot the number 675 car of Sanad, which is just in front of that battle. And how close is she? Still about 2 lengths behind. So coming into the closing stages now, Rupert Markkanen leads the race. Frank Canchar is happy to shadow him. Barry Pullinger, smooth and silky, in third place. Then it's Aaron Sherlock fourth, Nicola Pico fifth now. Paolo Di Conto up into sixth place, but it still won't be good enough for the championship title.
No, and Aaron Sherlock's day gets better and better. A lap ago, he just made the move on Nicolas Pico, so that sees him now ahead of that train. We've got still Paolo Di Conto within the mix as well, but it's not going to be enough for him as to claw the championship for 2015, unfortunately. It looks like Frank Canchar is going to be the man who comes through. He may be able to get one or two more places before the race is over as the leaders make their way down towards the final corner. Again, Frank is just sitting there waiting patiently to see if the mistake may come from Rupert Markkanen. He's now got 2 more laps to go as he goes across the line this time in towards turn 1 they head, but it is the battle behind, way behind, outside the top 10. That is really, really intense and of course involves the Masters runners.
And Kawazi Tamakazu has gone on the attack, so he's got ahead of Sanad now, and that means he's got a buffer, 1 kart in between him and Tamsin Germain. I think Tamsin might have lost another place as well at the start of this lap. Yes, she has, so there are now a couple of karts between them. Tamsin Germain missing out, I think, to Marcel Schirmer there, and the leaders switch around, having shadowed him all the way through this race. It looked like Frank Canchar was just going to sit there in second and pick up the championship, but he's now suddenly decided to go for it. So into the lead of the race goes the Hungarian. Maybe he is going to win a race en route to the championship. But Rupert Markkanen, who's looking for the 3rd place in the championship, swings out wide on the exit to the corner. They're about to start the last lap of the race, and Rupert Markkanen gets his nose back in front. He's got the inside line into turn number 1. Rupert Markkanen back up into 1st place. The Finn leads the Hungarian. Barry Pullinger, the British driver, is closing in 3rd out of turn 2 into the very quick left-hander at turn 3. And can Frank Canchar get him back on the way into turn 4? No is the answer, Matt, but he's got a couple more chances to get the victory here.
He certainly has, especially here in Genk, because there are many opportunities to make a move. But for now, Rupert Markkanen leads the way. What can Frank do as he works his way through the right-hander at turn number 6? He's just gapped him slightly, but still there's a chance to be the man who grabs his first win of the year, and the most important one at that, to claim the championship along the way. Down they come towards the last couple of corners. DD2 down the inside goes Frank Canchar. He can't quite get it done, so Rupert Markkanen looks over his shoulder. He says, what are you thinking? Don't try that. But Rupert Markkanen, again for him, will get his first win of the year. He comes through up to the line. Rupert Markkanen is delighted with the DD2 win here in Belgium, and the man behind, 2nd place, and the man who takes the championship for 2015 is Frank Canchar. What a drive for him. What a season it's been. Yet to take a win, and not to do so for this season, but still it doesn't matter. He claims the top spot for 2015, and Barry Pullinger is the man who gets himself onto the podium as well for the last round of this year. Another man who is yet to be visiting the podium, so again he'll be delighted to round off the season on a fairly big high there. But well done to the top 3. Some great racing throughout the field there. Rupert Markkanen, your winner. Frank Canchar comes home in 2nd, and of course the championship for DD2 goes along with it. Barry Pullinger comes home then in what will be 3rd place, and then we'll wait for the rest of the order to show itself up. But celebrations galore there as he works his way, Frank, through past the grandstands. He will be a very happy man, I'm sure of it. He wasn't too sure on what he needed to do before the race, but it's all now been confirmed for the man, for the Birol ART KMS team. The Hungarian takes this year's title. Behind the top 3, great drive from the Irishman Aaron Sherlock. 5th place then for Paolo Di Conto, the Italian from the back. Another great drive for him, but unfortunately not the championship to go with it. Nicolas Pico, Philip Seward, Kevin Ludi, Harold Kaklis, and Rasmus Markkanen in the end dropped towards 10th place. So a few problems for him there. In terms of the Masters, just to wrap that up as well, it was Kawazi Tamakazu who came home 1st in the class, 11th place overall. Tamsin Germain gets up to 2nd, so great drive from her. And Christoph Adams, after his overall win yesterday, comes home down in 3rd place. So again, not like in the dry conditions compared to the wet, and that is 17th place for him, just ahead of Umid Al Hussein. So what happened to the rest of the runners? Argan Mukin came home in 23rd, and Tony Hogg was our final runner down there in what would be 26th place, because Joey Alders, Luca Kamali and Giza Fodor were non-finishers from the final round of the season. In terms of the championship, there is confirmation that Frank Canchar for his team come home as the leaders of this year's